In this video, I'm going to show you how I made these stackable hexagons, and the beauty of this project is you could really modify the dimensions to any size to fit your project needs. I'm using 2 sheets of 1/2-inch cabinet grade plywood for this. This is part of a larger project, so I'm actually using about a sheet and 2/3, but the first part of this process is going to be ripping down strips into my rough dimensions, which in my case is going to be a little over 6 inches. Once I have that, I can then take this to the miter saw and chop them down into smaller parts. The 1/2-inch ply is convenient because the plywood's going to be about the same dimension throughout the entire sheet. The edges is already pretty clean, and the important part of this process, there's really 2 parts, but the first part is that all of your pieces are uniform in size and the bevels are all the same. If your parts are all different sizes, even little increments off, you'll have a real hard time once you go to put all this stuff together. So I rip them down, and then I'm using a stop on my miter saw in order to get them all to depth, which in my case is 12 inches, and that's my final depth. The miter gauge versus the radial arm saw will give me a nice clean cut, which is why I chose to use that. Then I could set my angle on my table saw for 30 degrees, and I could cut 30-degree bevels down both edges. I'm doing this in 2 parts just so that I know all of my pieces are uniform. So like I said, my final width is going to be 6 inches. I cut these a little bit longer, so I take off just a little bit on one edge, and then my final cut, which is right here, will take me down to a perfect 6 inches. The reason I cut all of these up into little parts versus sending long strips down the table saw is I won't have material hanging off the back of the table saw or onto my outfeed table. The part I'm cutting is always on contact with my very flat cast iron top, which means I'll have the best chance of getting uniform bevels. And then these are all of my parts. There was 96 of these, and it made 16 hexagons. I did do a test before I cut all of those to make sure they all fit, and you could see my connections are pretty perfect. So that is crucial for making this. The next part of putting all of this together is going to be gluing everything up. That's the second most important part. There's going to be little undulations and differences in all of these no matter how well you cut all of your parts. I've glued together hexagon soccer balls before, and I knew that in order to get all of this to fit perfectly without any big gaps, I had to do it all at once. So I lined up all of my pieces, taped my entire stack together, which is a stack of 16, and then I could glue them as I go and roughly attach them as I go. So even if one was a hair off from the other, when I go to screw them all together, it won't really matter because they'll all fit with that initial perfect alignment. If you glue all of these up separately and go to put them together into mass like I did, I'm telling you they're not going to line up and you're going to have a nightmare on your hands. So this is just to give you a visual. This is what that glue up looks like. I have a straight edge on a piece of 3/4 inch ply. I'm using that vertical straight edge as well as the long piece of the ply to line this all up. So you can see my flat bottoms are touching the edge of the ply, and then my corners are touching that vertical I have taped to the ply, which is a perfect 90 degree, and that's how I got it all to work out. I could go through, add glue to all the joints, and because these are pre-taped, close them all up, add tape to the 2 extra edges, and then set them in place, and that is how I did all 16. So I've posted this project, and on TikTok especially, people are kind of mesmerized by how well it all went together. It's really not a difficult project. I could have made this with 36 of these hexagons versus 16. The important part, like I said, is to get all of your pieces, cut them all at the same time, the same way to make sure they're identical, and glue them up all at once so they all mesh together. That's really the 2 keys. This really wasn't that difficult of a project, even though it looks like it might be. And then as I glue them, I'm just going to, you see I'm pushing them together. If there's little hairline cracks, it's hard with a hexagon. It's not like a square where I could go and measure all of my diagonals. So I'm kind of pushing them, together, I'm referencing 3 at a time, so I'm getting various contact points, not just one. And then once I have them clean and no hairline gaps, taping them together. So with them taped together, they're going to dry in that form, and then I can screw them together pretty much perfectly without any major gaps. I already knew the shape I wanted, so I could just kind of start attaching them as I go. I tried to clean out as much glue as possible as I went because sanding the inside of these was going to be a pain. But you could see I had them all glued up, and I could go around and tape them all together and let them dry like that overnight. So that is basically what my rough shape looks like. I'll zoom in later, but you can see all of my corners are meeting pretty perfectly. And like I said, I have it lined up as a perfect 90, referencing off of the bottom piece of the ply as well as that vertical I have on that plywood. So before I take this all apart to sand them and take the glue off, I made a rough map because, like I said, these are now all referenced with where they are. If I move them around, they're going to be off, not by much, but they will be slightly off. So I just went through and numbered them, and then I could use that map in order to put them all back together. I'm putting the numbers all on the bottom of the hexagons, so I know that number is facing down, and I'm going to screw them together with some 3/4 inch screws. And even with 1/2 inch ply, I sometimes use 3/4 for stuff like this, but I didn't think it needed it because this polygon itself is a pretty structural object. You can ask the bees. And I could go through and take all the tape off. There is some squeeze out on the outside, sand that down. There's still some residual glue on the inside. I could sand that down as well. And then same process. I did about 3. That was the cluster I kind of work with. And then I could clamp them together and attach them with screws. I kept the screws on the underside of the piece. This will be setting on the floor. So if I kept the screws on the sides and the underside of the hexagons, you won't see them once this is stood up in space. And I could just use my numbers to do the layout that I need. Everything fit back together perfectly, which was what I was hoping for. I could countersink some screws, and I did 2 in the front. I don't film it, but I eventually flipped this over and do 2 in the back as well. And then I could pick up and move the whole piece at once, which was nice. This part was a little tedious, the sanding of all of them and screwing them together, but like I said, I was pretty happy with how they turned out. With my sizes, obviously this is 12 inches deep. I told you I started with 6-inch wide pieces, 30-degree angles on both edges. It gave me about a 12-inch wide piece going edge to edge and about 10 inches tall. And then that is what my finished piece looks like. You can see I messed up 4 sets of screws, which isn't that big of a deal, but it still bothers me on this one side. And you can see that where my joints meet, it's pretty much perfect. I have no big gaps because of how I decided to glue it together. So the nice thing about this, like I said, is you could really modify this for any size. People were talking about turning it into a shoe rack, something you could hang on the wall. Just cut down those dimensions and you could use it for just about anything. It picks up in one piece. I can lift it quite easily. It also is going to be something that will most likely be used as storage as well as climbed on. It holds my weight, which means it's going to hold the weight of the person using it.